everybody. And guess what? It's winter. It's cold. I hope everybody is bundled up and being as cozy as you can possibly be this week. And of course, with winter coming in comes the dreaded flu season. And I hear a couple of people of our hosts today have been doing the old the bedroom shuffle of just being in bed and being warm. What about like how was your recovery period, Javion? I'll go ahead and start with you first.
Awful. I was sick. It was really bad. I couldn't work. I couldn't really do much of anything. But excuse me. Of course. Perfect timing, right? But I took a lot of medicine and excuse me. So sorry. All right. I'm done, I promise. But I spent a lot of the time when I was feeling good playing lots of Minecraft on the server that you let me join with you. So thanks again for that.
Yes.
Had a lot of fun killing a dragon and making a big villager trading hall and getting all my cool weapons and stuff ready and exploring this weird mod pack that we're using called Better Minecraft. So lots of stuff that I still need to explore and a lot of time to really do some hard thinking. Watched a lot of TV. I'm sure everybody did.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying the Minecraft server. It's great to have people on, especially somebody who gets easily startled whenever you teleport to them and say hello.
Yeah.
And then what about you, Noir? How have you been with your sickness? Damn it, down with the sickness.
I've been doing all right. My voice is not 100% back, which is a little annoying. But I got sick the first day of PAX, so I didn't really get to enjoy that. I stayed in my Airbnb like a responsible adult, and I watched all of Interview with the Vampire, which was pretty fun.
Ooh, the TV series? Yes.
Yeah, the TV series, highly recommended. It's real good.
Ooh, but yes, no. I'm thank you for being a responsible adult. We appreciate you, both of you, for being responsible adults and being like, we're gonna stay inside. But it is unfortunate that you didn't get to enjoy PAX Unplugged. That was last weekend, as much to the fullest as possible. Speaking of people that are locked in being busy, Peter, I heard that you're not sick, but you're still locked up in your room staring at a computer doing all the things and stuff. What do you got?
Yeah, thankfully I'm not sick. I filmed a movie last week, my first ever feature-length movie. We filmed it entirely in front of a green screen in 3 days, which is insane. Everybody was like thinking I was crazy, but hey, we'll see how it turns out. I think it turned out, I think the filming was good in spite of being really fast, although slower than we forecasted. It was some hard work, but we got through it, and now I'm deep into the editing. I hired somebody to help me actually doing the edit for this one, so that's good. But I'm doing a lot of work to prepare the editing so that he can get started. So yeah, I've been working long hours. I haven't had a good night's sleep in about 2 weeks, but hey, that's okay. It's my chosen obsession, so I'm okay with that. How about you, Bonsai? How have you been doing? How's the 3D printing process going?
Oh, the 3D I'm very pregnant. That's the news I've been telling people. They're like, how are you doing? I'm like, I'm pregnant. I'm in my 3rd trimester, so if anybody knows, you can't really see it because of the cutoff on the camera. But hey, who knew that like 3D printing a human makes you very, very tired, and that you're carrying like a rucksack or like a backpack or something on the front of you all the time, so it makes your back hurt. It's great. It's great. The miracle of life. I actually, at least it's not that bad. I am just tired a lot, but that is what it is. It's what I chose. But I have more exciting news that I guess that sounds terrible, but I got Quest Calendar. That's a terrible segue. I appreciate you, babe. I appreciate you. You're very exciting news. You're very exciting news. I should have said that. But I did get my Quest Calendar for 2023. So if you guys don't know, Quest Calendar is RPG per, like, one RPG adventure per day. You get to choose a character. In the past, for the 2020 and basically 2020, 2021, it's always been fantasy. This year they're stepping into sci-fi, so I just got that. I ended up not doing the Kickstarter for this because I wasn't too sure. I missed it, but I did end up just going to Sundial Games and just getting the calendar itself. And I'm very excited to play that coming up. Just a lot of very exciting things that are like coming in, especially for people who really enjoy RPGs and all that stuff. It's like I find it fun when an established games goes back to its roots, right, Peter? Don't you find?
Yeah, absolutely. Especially if that game is Root.
Ooh.
Yes. So Root. Okay. So there is an open world board game based on the game Root that is coming after years of development. This story is brought to us by Alex Meehan of Dicebreaker. So Cole Worley, the designer responsible for Root, confirmed to Dicebreaker at last week's PAX Unplugged convention that a new board game set in the Root universe is on its way. This game, created by Patrick Leader, the new game will likely be called Path, which follows the studio's tradition of using 4-letter names and will be an open world style title. Worley noted that unlike many open world board games such as Gloomhaven, sessions of Path will apparently take just about 2 hours to play, though, with the intention of providing a more accessible version of an open world title. According to the Root creator, Path was set to be the title that originated the Root universe, with Kyle Farron, the artist responsible for the illustrations for Root, as well as many of Leader Games' other titles, having initially created sketches for Path before eventually using the same ideas for Root. In a blog post from April 2019, which can be found on the Leader Games website, Path is confirmed to be an open world board game with alternate victory conditions. Rather than featuring a cast of different factions from across the world of Root, Path will reportedly focus on the Vagabonds, a splintered faction formed of a collective of individuals willing to provide their services for a price, as they attempt to gain fame and fortune. As Vagabonds, the players will be able to then use the fame or infamy they gain with the other factions found within the world of Root in order to gain additional privileges and ways to score. Besides, there's more. Besides the upcoming Path, Leader is also known for co-designing Vast, the Crystal Caverns, alongside David Somerville, as well as creating its follow-up Vast, the Mysterious Manor, and co-designing the Underworld expansion and the Marauder expansion with Worley for Root. All right, there, I'm done for real this time.
Oh no, I was sorry. I didn't mean to. I was like, that was just a lot. And I was like, oh wait, there's even more. There's more cake.
There was a random page break that screwed me up.
Oh, all right. No worries. No, I'm excited to see how like just basically this board game has like expanded so much. Of course, I don't know if anybody here played the RPG as well that Root has.
I know you have.
I have. I was able to play that and it was very exciting. So I want to see like, especially since they're taking more like this is supposed to be packaged like a board game, like in terms of or an open world board game in terms of like Gloomhaven, for an example, but a shorter condenser version, which is what versus the one that takes months, is supposed to be in hours. If they're going to take what they learned from the RPG and then apply it to Path as well. So
yeah, I don't know, but it certainly is an interesting universe. I think the world design is compelling. The board game was compelling. I haven't played the RPG, but it seems like a setting and an approach that could be leveraged in new dimensions. So hey,
it's always fun to see what 4-letter word they decide to use for their game, because that's like the running theme for all of the Root style or Root genre games from Ladder Games.
So it's Oath, Root, and Path. And then is there any more?
Vast. What's the space one that's coming out? Oh, I can't remember. I think it's not Sail, is it?
I can't remember.
There's a rowing, there's like a sailing. Oh, there's Fort also as well.
Oh, Fort. Oh yeah, I totally forgot about Fort. But yeah, you're right. I didn't. Mind blown, Javion. I didn't notice they're only sticking to 4-letter words.
There you go. Now you know.
Clouds cleared. Javion's noticed the patterns. But yes, if anybody in chat or in the YouTube comments, please answer a question of what's on the list of the various different games that are 4-letter words, and does any break the combo? Would be great. It'll set us on the right path, like a new path to choose our way, right, Nora?
I feel like you're trying to set me up for something, and I don't know what you're trying to set me up for.
I'm gonna set you. I'm trying to. Yeah. I'm
Oh,
trying.
would you be talking about Pathfinder Adventure Path number 190, the choosing?
Oh, maybe. I don't know. I
Ah.
wasn't
And I
using
have a
any of
little
these.
bit. I have a little bit to say about that. Coming directly from Paizo, a vision of a strange shop in the Grand Bazaar of Absalom accompanies the unexpected arrival of powerful magic cards that mysteriously manifest in the possession of a band of adventurers. But when an investigation of this vision reveals murder, treachery, and fiendish machinations, the adventurers are thrown into a race to control the very future of all things to come, tied to the ubiquitous fortune-telling cards known as the Harrow. Who has chosen your character for this deadly quest, and what might become of your destinies should you fail? The Choosing is a Pathfinder adventure for 4 11th level characters. The adventure begins the Stolen Fate Adventure Path, a 3-part monthly campaign in which a group of adventurers race against time to gather the scattered parts of a powerful deck of magical fortune-telling cards. This adventure also includes a detailed look at a brand new demi plane tied to the Harrow deck, new rules options to explore these magical cards, and several new monsters ready to test your character's mettle. Each monthly full color softcover Pathfinder Adventure Path volume contains an in-depth adventure scenario, stats for several new monsters, and support articles meant to give game masters additional materials to expand their campaign. Pathfinder Adventure Path volumes use the open game license and work with both Pathfinder RPG and the world's oldest fantasy RPG. This is going to be on pre-order, expected approximately around April 26th, 2023. I love Pathfinder. I love how they come out with these adventure packs with just tons of supplemental material to give you more insight into these adventures. It's a story that the entire community can take part in, and find the conclusion around the same time. Really like how they do this. I'm super excited to see where this adventure leads. The Kingmaker storyline was really just perfectly done, and I want to see what comes of these cards. I want to see what messes we can get into with our 4 11th level characters.
Definitely sounds
Cool.
pretty wacky. They're going on a race to collect cards. That sounds really
Mhm.
familiar. It sounds like something from like an anime or something.
You gotta Yu-Gi-Oh the deck. So I guess the real question is, did the fortune telling cards really, is that what drew you in? They're like at Grey's Anatomy fortune telling cards. Noir, here you go.
Paizo listens to the community, and there's been a large outcry for more Grey's Anatomy tarot cards. And I'm very glad that Paizo heard their fans. This is a partnership I did not expect, but I greatly appreciate. I can't wait to see the path of McDreamy so that I too can be a steamy hot doctor as I fight monsters.
We all
Well,
want to be Stevie Hot Doctors while we fight monsters. No, but
I
besides
swore off Pathfinder for the longest time, but I don't know, Noir, you're starting to convince me maybe I should go back.
Hey, listen, sometimes fate chooses you.
Yeah.
And that's what this adventure is about. It's about what kind of sexy doctor are you going to be? Are you going to be the sexy doctor that the world needs? Or are you going to be the sexy
We're still
doctor
talking
that
about Pathfinder, right?
you want to
yeah,
be?
it's totally about Pathfinders.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What about you, Peter? What do you think of these modules that they're putting in?
Sound good to me. I mean, collecting cards, that's a winning strategy, why not? Yeah. As long as they're magic cards, not spellfire cards. That's all I got to say. Ooh, did I say that out loud? Oh, snap.
Ooh. All right. So I think
Sorry.
before we get too spicy and McDreamy dreamy eyes of this Pathfinder adventure, we have to think about what's to come on the calendar, right? Javion, what do you think? What do we have to
Uh,
look forward to?
Bonsai, I know how big of a fan of advent calendars you are. And hopefully you all know how big of a fan I am. Well, maybe you're like me and you didn't know that there is a D&D Beyond digital advent calendar going on right now. In fact, it is free for anybody to look at and use if you want. They started on December 5th instead of December 1st. So currently there are only 5 available discounts, goodies, surprises for you to unlock if you go to the D&D Beyond website. And an article by Chase Carter of Dicebreaker brought it to our attention, so thank you. We are getting into what's come out of the calendar so far this week. I'm sure you guys are very curious to know. So on December 5th, actually, the very first of the surprises came out with 11 new stat blocks as companions for the upcoming, well, actually now released Dragonlance supplementary book. Dragonlance Monsters, the Dragonlance Adventures, the module released into retail for official D&D adventures. So folks who are excited for that module and maybe got a chance to purchase it, now you've got some extra stat blocks to go on top of it if you go to the D&D Beyond website, which is fully compatible with any campaigns that you might be running that utilize D&D Beyond as well. The Monster Compendium Volume 2, Dragonlance Monsters, it's going to have all of those entries in the world of Kryn, and they span the challenge rating scale from very, very innocent Irdas to the gnome tinkerers and the hulking magma-bellied red dragons. Very, very exciting stuff. So, maybe you've heard of the main supplement, Dragonlance Shadow of the Dragon Queen. It is the return to Kryn that takes the war of the Lance and focuses on the nation of Solamnia in order to let it very easily fit within the existing canon for Dragonlance that was established through the novel series and all of the previous tabletop books as well. A lot of the monsters that come in this 11 stat block chunk are very much NPC fodder. They've got the Mystic Irda, like I said, the Tinkering Gnomes of Mount Nevermind. And then there's also the anthropomorphic walrus people, the Thanoi, which I really only found out about today. So I'm very excited to hear about those. There's also the classically monstrous Trag Draconian. These are the results of dark experiments on dragon eggs. They produce these very brutish, flightless soldiers that explode when they die, and they are specifically guardians of this Kryn's Darken Wood. And also, there's a very powerful unicorn who does that very same task as well. It's very cool. A lot of the entries include very in-universe missives from 2 influential figures. They've got the Dragon High Lord Verminard and the Red Dragon Ember, as they discuss the war effort with their superiors, both of them serving Takesis, the Dragon Queen, but often finding themselves at odds as commanders and fraying each other's very last nerves. I don't know if you've taken a look at any of the other ones as well, but on December 6th, there was actually a couple of coupons for Dungeons and Dragons themed Trivial Pursuit and Yahtzee. Funny, no D&D themed Monopoly. I figured they would put that discount as well. I mean, it's all Hasbro, right? Oh well. If you like Trivial Pursuit and Yahtzee and you wanted to play the D&D versions of it, you can get, I believe, 10% off. There's also on the 7th came out the 25% off the Dungeon Master's Guide. So it's valid all the way through December 31st. You can use it anytime you're ready if you want to grab that from D&D Beyond. And on the 8th, yesterday, we also got 10% off the Dungeons and Dragons t-shirts. So if you were hoping for some new swag or like a fun Christmas gift for a loved one who loves D&D as much as you do, definitely check that out. And today, we've also got a very, very exciting coupon, Spell 22. Want to guess what maybe it is? It's 15% off the Spelljammer book that is specifically for D&D. The Spelljammer books that came out earlier this year, exploring the astral plane and through the space time continuum of the Dungeons and Dragons lore. It's the Forgotten Realms. That's what I was thinking of. So lots of really cool coupons and plenty more to come all throughout this month until the 24th. There's going to be plenty of fun surprises for you guys to open up. Anything sound exciting to you guys?
Ooh, I don't like. I don't know. It's weird to just get. I'm not gonna lie. This is just my personal opinion. It's a little bit weird to just do for something like an advent calendar digitally. Is what it is. Because usually, if you do advent calendar, at least you get a piece of chocolate. You know, in my head, something physical. But it is something cool. It's just more of a sign of how like we are trying to move towards digital goods more than physical goods. Is all I'm saying.
Sure.
I
I think there's plenty of advent calendars out there that are just for you, Bonsai. Very physical stuff where you can get your dice or your chocolates, whatever you want.
Right.
Was that Peter?
I do love to see Dragonlance getting some love from WotC. So anytime some new little some new announcement that includes Dragonlance something or something, then my heart just goes beep beep beep. Cool. Love Dragonlance.
I'm excited about the shirt discount. I like shirts.
I can see that you're wearing one now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only because they make me.
Fair. That's fair. Very fair.
Oh, but no, that's exciting. And we still, of course, being an advent calendar, you have all the way until the end of December to see all of the discounts. And I'm sure as the days go by, the cooler and cooler things you can go ahead and get, especially if you want to start your D&D 1 account to work with that. Oh, speaking of D&D 1, now that I'm talking about it, hey, I hope you're ready to take a drink from that hose, because do I have news about new Unearthed Arcana for D&D 1? I know Noir has opinions, especially about the biggest change that happened to the cleric bases. So let's go ahead. I'm going to just do a quick and dirty rundown of what we have. That's why I said we're going to drink from the hose. I got some bullet points. Let's go. So what people have been talking about is basically all the changes after, of course, having the questionnaire being answered. Basically, WotC went in and did the changes to D&D 1 to kind of balance out what people were commenting about. One of the biggest things that have been substantially changed is the cleric. So clerics now, channel divinity is now a first level instead of a second level offer. So it offers between turning undead and healing an ally at range, or straight up damaging an enemy with a radiant light. Clerics often used to have to choose, basically as soon as they got it, between being tanky, a spellcaster, or some skill based on their domain. Now they just get to choose between 3 options, basically part of their holy order. So you could be somebody who's like who does a lot of healing, but then you still are more not so tanky and more of a spellcaster. So it lets you kind of choose between all the various things they used to have before. Most notably, clerics now choose their divine domain subclass at level 3 instead of level 1. I believe, for my personal opinion, I believe they did that so people don't just like multi-class and just take cleric as one class and then like toss it away because they already got it in first level. Now they're making it a little more balanced. So you have to at least be 3 levels in a particular class to keep the consistency between all of the various different pathways you can choose. Also, clerics have some minor abilities like Blessing Strikes, which is an optional class featured in Tasha's. Probably the biggest change to this is that clerics have lost their longtime utility spells, such as Control Water, Continual Flame, Mend Stone. It looks like those spells are going to be sort of a natural component for a primal spell list. So they're just kind of like, this seems more nature, so we're going to kind of put it in its own category versus divinity spells. I know, well, while we're on the topic of clerics, Noir, you had opinions about one of the spells that have been changed.
Yeah, I did. The spell that I have opinions about is Spiritual Weapon. It's always been a cornerstone of cleric players everywhere. One of the things that's great about it is that it was a spell that ran continuously, but it was not a concentration based spell. So I can have my little floaty weapon over here helping me out as a bonus action. I can use my main action to do something else. Now it is a concentration spell. I just it doesn't need to be. There was nothing wrong with it. It was everybody's favorite because it worked. And I don't understand the mindset that was like, hey, this is a thing everybody likes and it's working real well. And not one person has complained about it. So let's fix it. Hey, I I love clerics. I love clerics and paladins. Those are my two favorites. Well, actually, my two favorites are paladins and bards. Cleric is a close third. What makes clerics great is that they are utilitarian. So whatever they need to be, as long as they have a little bit of prep time, they can be that. It's just like I need to be whatever my God needs me to be today. It feels like they're saying, Mom, you make that decision at level 1. It just it feels I don't love it. I don't like anything that I'm seeing. It's just making me more mad every time they come out with something. And but let's let it all come together and then I'll decide once it's all out. But I hate this. I hate this a lot. I hate this more than I can say. I'm gonna stop talking because all I'm gonna say is that I hate it.
Can I say something about the clerics? Like what one topic that I never see addressed in the rules for clerics, and they worship a god, right? And what about trying to convert people to your religion? Shouldn't that be the main thing clerics are trying to do, is proselytize and
But
people...
that'll lead into a lot of in-world colonialism, so they're trying to avoid that, which I understand. But they've got to find a way to make the cleric compelling.
I want to challenge that real fast, because I think whether or not it implies real life things isn't the big issue with all of that. I think what it really comes down to is player agency. When you're saying that putting a motivation into a class is they did that with paladins. And they did that with paladins saying about how they are specifically a certain type of person, lawful, whatever, right? And I think that might be one of many reasons that they haven't put it in the book, but I think they absolutely could. I think it's definitely something that they could feed in without having to put it as a requirement or a thing that you have to do or anything like that.
I think that you and Peter are both correct in the sense that I would love to have something in the class that compels me to act a certain way. And I think Wizards knocked it out of the park with the Paladin, because each Paladin subclass has tenets, has rules. If my whole deal is I'm a Paladin and I swear an oath to protect nature, they give me those oaths so I know the mindset of the character. That's the kind of stuff that I love. Everybody loves rules in the sense that Highlander, there could be only one. We understand those rules. We understand the rules to the Force. Introduce something like that.
Absolutely agree.
Don't nerf my favorite spell and shrug your shoulders when I ask you why.
Just play a paladin, Nor. Don't even worry about it.
Well, I'm scared because I can't crit with my paladin.
All right, Vontae, what other news is there?
Yeah. Before we go on a tangent of the holy wars that are going on,
and one more thing, I'm just kidding.
Ardings. Oh, by the way, the class that everyone super downvoted, the Ardlings, basically from the first survey, they got a rework. So they've gone from being weird beast-like Asmari to being humans with animal heads and a splash of divine heritage. So now you gain one of 4 special, like think of like street sharks, you know, like all those old 80 cartoons where they like Chitara or like Chitara and stuff. Like you're humanoid, but you get like the head of an animal, and then you get aspects of that creature. You now gain one of 4 special abilities that reflect your beast's nature, a divine cantrip of your choice, a proficiency in perception. The next race that they were able to tweak a little bit is the Dragonborns have been buffed up to use a version of breath weapon in Fizzbad, and they can choose between a cone and a line attack with their breath weapon. So basically, they made it so their breath weapon is a little bit cooler. Goliaths are now basically Giantborns. Your Giantborns, there you go. Boom, you got Giantborn Goliaths. So you choose your giant heritage and then get some sort of gimmick power based on that. You get a little gimmick power. They also get to be basically you get to turn into a large creature for 10 minutes once per day. So you could just like hulk out and smash things. So those are the bigger changes that people have seen, and hopefully we'll get more understanding of it. But yeah, no, I can't wait to see. Yeah,
you get reach, I assume.
Yes, you get reach. You're just a large creature. You are basically you transform for 10 minutes, and all the shenanigans you can do within those 10 minutes. So what is that, like 10 round? No, yeah, 10 rounds.
Sweet.
I
can't wait to go big mode.
Big mode.
I'm gonna jump into a fight and be like, "Ah!" I'm just gonna rage out and just go 10 times larger and just start crushing things.
What would you yell when you're, doing this punishment? Do you have like a saying, like maybe like a ba, like something that just really screams out to you, huh, Javian?
Notes of Negroni. Something like that.
I was thinking you would say Batsu. That you wanted to talk about.
That makes so much more sense than what I said. Something about Negroni. Batsu. Batsu, the punishment card game. Have you heard of it? Well, now you have. It's a hilarious card game. I would say it was more of a party game than that. It is a game all about hanging out with your friends and doing weird stuff, and then punishing whoever does the worst at it. This game comes to us from Giant Fox Studios. I actually picked up a copy of it when I was at PAX this year. PAX in PAX West, actually, PAX in Seattle. So this is what Batsu looks like, or you could just look at the article in chat if you want to take a look at it. Basically, this party game is all about having fun, but also having a little bit of a laugh at somebody else's expense. What you get is a rule set that can fit on the front and back of one standard card. And everybody will just take turns being the judge, as in most judgy games, and you'll draw a challenge card. And then you read the challenge card to everybody, and everybody has to do the challenge. And then you get to sit back and watch them all dance for your amusement, like puppets on a string. And then you get to judge them and say who did the worst. And you tell that person, hey, guess what? You have to do a punishment. And everybody can sort of collaborate before the game starts if there's going to be a backup punishment if you don't want to do whatever it is, because some of these punishments can get kind of wild. You might have to make out with an inanimate object for 10 seconds or longer. You might have to put on somebody else's socks on your hands and use that to talk. And if they don't have socks, you have to put on whatever they have on their feet when they walked in anyway. Or you might just have to let somebody flick you on the forehead. That's what they do in the game show that the game Batsu is actually based off of. It's a Japanese style it's a Japanese Batsu style game show that takes place in New York and Chicago that spawned this card game. And I remember when I was actually at PAX and I met the folks who built the game. They told me so much about how exciting it was to go from making a show that I had never heard of, but people thought was really, really cool. It was really popular. And then putting it into a card game format. And they have a big box version where they have a ton of different cards in them, but you won't be able to get that unless you bought it at the event. So I played it safe and I just went with the small size box. Now, with these challenges, you also get a lot of extra cards as well. The person, the place, and the thing cards. They give you suggestions on things, such as a challenge where one person is pretending to be a bus driver, and then every other person draws a person card. You have to act like that person when you get on and when you get off the bus. And then whoever did the worst acting has to, well, do a challenge. I don't know. The game plays about 3 to 6 players. It's ages 13 and up, and it plays in about 30 to 45 minutes. But if you ask me, people will get very distracted very quickly, and it will either end much sooner or much, much later. Looks like it's going to retail for about $20 on December 31st when it releases into retail. Now, this is the kind of game, if you ask me, is much better for like a drinking game or like a game with friends or something like that. So I would take it as a grain of salt on the age rating for it, but I'm sure you could find lots of different cool rules to add in and homebrew it in your own special way. People do that all the time anyway. Yeah, so I don't know. What do you guys think? Should I run this for game night sometime? Would you be interested in
I feel like it have to be physical. Well, we have to schedule a day where we all can come into the Gen Con studio
Sure.
and actually do it. Because if there's a prompt to go around and just basically, like as in the show, take a little noisy wacky hammer and just go book onto somebody, I do not want to lose that to physical comedy prop. Please let me hit somebody on the head with a little
So
hammer.
basically, you're saying you need me to fly over there so you can hit me in the face with a hammer.
Yes, exactly, Noir. I want you to fly over here so specifically I can hit you in the face with a noisy hammer. This is we're gonna fight. We'll fight on camera. Will be the ultimate showdown.
We have to find a day where all of us can get to studio.
Mhm.
Ooh.
I'm kidding.
Well, we know how hard that could be.
I'll make
But
it.
yeah.
Nah, that sounds fun though. I don't believe in socks though. So
Well, okay, somebody's gonna be wearing your shoes then.
No, it does sound like a lot of fun, and I can't wait. Like that, I would legitimately love to play that game. It's a great thing to get in.
How did I know you were gonna love this, Bonsai?
But because it's also like the show. Speaking of which, ooh, you know what? Officially, new announcement. Also, with that announcement, a new announcement just came out. I don't know. We've been talking about it. Gloomhaven, the tabletop RPG, has actually super been officially announced. There's been whispers in the wind inside the categories, but basically it was announced that the Gloomhaven game will be released in April of 2023. So hey, that's the new thing to be looking forward to this year. This game will be allowing building characters of any class and any heritage that they please, and characters will be able to gain and use skills based on the cards instead of dice in the system, similar to board games. One of the system's goals is to allow players to use their existing Gloomhaven products as tools and props for their role-playing experience. As Price Johnston, the Cella, hold on, I have problems with this word, Cephalofair? I am so sorry.
Cephalofair.
Cephalofair, thank you. Cephalofair, COO put it, we want our community to feel like each big box campaign board game that they are invested in is able to function as sort of a Gloomhaven master toolkit, and will be able to craft your own adventures using maps, tiles, enemies, standees, miniatures, tokens, overlays, and titles, and more. So they're basically saying this is the basic box, and we want you to get used to it. These are the training wheels, and we're going to expand and reach. It's like a plant that grows and announce it's like a evolvation, a Pokemon evolvation. First you start with the board game, and then you can evolve into an actual role-playing character. So yeah, that's fun and exciting to hear about. What is your opinions on it, everyone? Nothing.
I think they've garnered a lot of news lately because people are excited for this. I'm not necessarily heavy into Gloomhaven myself, but just from the excitement that I'm seeing from everybody else around this, I think that's gonna catch my eye, and I'll gladly play at any table that has this at a con to get a feel for it. And I think having the right experience with the right people will definitely get me into this game, but I'm kind of coming into it a little bit blind, not exactly knowing what to expect. So I'm ready and willing to be pleasantly surprised by this.
Yeah, I'm kind of with Noir on this. I think Gloomhaven might be like one of the most important games that I have no experience with. And I've always had this
Yeah.
nagging, like I really want to try that, see what all the buzz is about. I fundamentally have struggled with sort of the genre of Gloomhaven, of basically adventure type games. For me, like the idea of an adventure, okay, let's play D&D or Burning Wheel or something. I mean, let's go full on RPG mode, nah.
I am loyal to my brethren at Thunderworks Games, and I will forever stand role player adventures over Gloomhaven every time it comes up because it's better. It's got dice in it. Well,
Oh my
actually, hold on.
God.
Does this wait?
Wow.
Does this role playing game have dice in it now? It's a role playing game, so it must, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
both have
I
dice.
didn't realize there was
Wouldn't
like an
have
East
to.
Coast, West Coast kind of war happening
Oh
here.
my gosh.
Well,
Yeah.
well, you said there's dice though.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
there's-
Is that really all it you came into this hardcore? Like
JVR
I rep my
wanted-
set and only my set. Wait, they got dice?
Yeah,
Well, if they have,
that's
like,
how
a
you get
custom
Javion.
set.
Javion's like, if you're like, oh yeah, you actually get to roll 20 dice in this game, he'll be like, I'll buy it.
Yeah.
20 dice.
Listen to me. I'm down with the cause. I ain't never played Loop. Wait, what kind of dice they got though?
No, that's fair. No, it's just excited to see. We'll have to see how it comes out. Like I said, it's not until April, and then we can start hashing and ripping it apart and giving our own personal opinions as
There
the
we go.
fandom does. Speaking of fandoms and people claiming things, there's been some Hasbro has started to speak out, defend itself. Peter, what do you know about what Hasbro's been talking about lately? Huh? You got some?
Oh yeah. Oh, Bonza, I've been waiting all show for this story. I mean, so first set it up in case you missed it. Back in November, Bank of America claimed that Hasbro was ruining Magic the Gathering by overprinting. So this week's news is that Hasbro has responded by saying, "No, we're not." And so by the way, the coverage of both these stories was brought to us by CNBC. Yeah, we're pulling from there. That's right. Okay, so in a talk show hosted by UBS last week, Hasbro refuted criticism that it is printing too many cards for the soon-to-be billion-dollar brand. Like soon-to-be billion-dollar brand. Like somebody's got a crystal ball or something. Anyway, well, hey, great. The comments came nearly a month after Bank of America downgraded Hasbro to underperform from buy. These are ratings that they put on different stocks as to like whether you should invest in this stock or not. And so Magic selling less caused Hasbro. That's interesting. Anyway, they said the company was killing its golden goose and could see a 34% decline in share price due to its mishandling of the Wizard of the Coast unit that houses Magic. Jason Haas, who wrote the Bank of America report, said players are getting increasingly turned off by a slew of new releases that flooded the market and decreased the secondary market values of cards. At a talk last week, Cynthia Williams, president of the Wizards of the Coast unit, said Hasbro doesn't have any indications of broad declines in interest in the game's products. There is no evidence that Magic is overprinted, she said. Williams said the company typically spreads out its tentpole releases of Magic the Gathering card sets in 2-month intervals. 2-month interval. I have not been keeping up. I just got to say 2 months seems a little tight. But anyway, but in October, she said supply chain issues resulted in 2 sets releasing at the same time. Okay, she said the cadence of releases will return to normal in 2023, with major sets being released every 2 months and micro sets sprinkled in between. In the game, which can be played in person or online, players use cards to cast spells, use artifacts, and summon creatures and defeat their... Yeah, we know all this stuff like that. Okay, but what's important is that the rare and powerful cards can gain value on secondary market as players seek to bolster their decks for tournament play or just their personal collections. As for secondary market pricing concerns, Williams noted that Hasbro doesn't derive money from card resales, and that if prices for recently released products rise significantly, it means we're not adequately meeting customer demand, and we are making millions of players unhappy at their lack of ability to acquire the cards they want to play. Okay, so now check the link. This article goes on and addresses, but I'm going to stop right there because first of all, there's a whole bunch of things I love about this pair of articles that I just got to get off my chest. So I love that the question of how many Magic cards to print is interesting to the stock market and Bank of America. How cool is that? I mean, that first of all, that's just really cool. I'm glad that that's happening. I also love that after almost 30 years, there are still people out there shaking their fists in the sky, claiming that Wizards of the Coast has ruined Magic again. It's funny. I was just this week on a podcast with James Wallace at Asmodee, who related his story that he came to the conclusion that WotC was ruining Magic back in 1993. And we all kind of laughed about that. Yeah. Oh, because the decks as they existed when you got them out of the box were not always played. Like sometimes you could get combinations of cards in just a randomly sorted starter box. Maybe you still can. I don't know. That there might be a spell in there you couldn't cast, right?
Yeah.
So like say a red dragon, I think it used to cost 3 red mana. If you didn't have 3 mountains, you're screwed. So obviously this game is poorly designed and won't go anywhere. That was what he concluded. So anyway, okay, 3. I'm not done. I love that at the heart of the Magic business, there is still this tension about the correlation of secondary market pricing to print run volumes. That if the secondary market price is too high on a Magic set that just came out recently, and that means you're not printing enough. Well said, Cynthia Williams, president of Wizards of the Coast. Also, Cynthia, you're probably not listening and could care less what I say, but for what it's worth, I agree with your statement that printing Magic expansions for other brands like Lord of the Rings is great. Maybe Grey's Anatomy would be a good one too, by the way. Rumor has it. So
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Oh, don't let anybody tell you that is a bad idea. You go. Okay. I need to take a chill pill and a couple deep breaths now. Okay, back to you, Bonsai. Quick.
Oh, no. That's good. I'm glad to hear the passion about this. I think my only comment to probably make into this Hasbro defense is quality control. I guess that's the other issue that fans have been bringing up is quality control, because just that's the only thing.
I mean, there's just some things that Magic has done recently that don't make a lick of sense. Like their 30th anniversary deck box included a bunch of cards they said they would never print again from alpha and beta, and it's $1,000 and you can't play them. Who is that for? Like, why would I spend $1,000 for proxies that are illegal in every format? It just doesn't make any sense.
Ever heard of Bling? Ever heard of Collector's Edition?
And I think I have to edit that a little bit, right? I mean, you say you can't play with them. You can't play with them in a sanctioned tournament, right?
True.
I mean, you can play with them in the home game. And by the way, I think for most of us, we play more home games than sanctioned tournaments. So
yeah, I mean, I don't like proxies at the table.
Oh yeah, no.
And this just feels like a legal proxy, and it's just like
Well, we'll have to save a date for a full-on Magic rant about this, because I feel like this could be its own 10
I only got one thing
discovery.
to say. I only got one last thing to say. In order to save Magic, bring back Unhinged.
Yeah. There you go.
All right. Well, I, for one, love this. Like, basically, we'll probably be reporting this more and more as it goes on, and we'll probably have to dedicate, I think, maybe like either next show or the next show after this, as this news is still hot. We should just dedicate like a 20-minute discussion about Magic the Gathering in terms of stock market, social. No, that's just my idea. You know what? Also, I feel like we should just like unplug from anything and feel like what we really want to promote out there. Do you have any wise, words for us, Noir, about that? about unplugging yourself from this, disconnecting?
Absolutely. So I was able to go to PAX for one day. That was fun. And the wonderful people over at WizKids let me take home a preview copy of Onslaught, which is gonna be which is their war gaming platform. Dungeons and Dragons Onslaught is a competitive skirmish game in which each player controls an adventuring party from one of the powerful factions of Forgotten Realms. Parties are going to delve into dungeons, battle rival adventures, and confront fearsome monsters on a quest for treasure and glory. In more detail, Dungeons and Dragons Onslaught is a scenario-based combat game in which you collect treasure, level up, and bring powerful abilities to bear using dice rolls, upgrade cards, and the new combat dial card system to keep track of the action. The core set on Onslaught includes material for 2 players, including 12 characters from 2 factions, Harper's and Syntherium, and a horde of monsters and 21 pre-painted figures in all. And I thought what was really cool about this was I got to ask some of the folks over at Onslaught, if I have a PC, will I be able to use my PC for Onslaught? And you can. They're going to give ways to basically take your character as they are and enable them to play in this game with this cool turn system here. And it's just a great way to have bigger combats in your campaigns that you can translate to an Onslaught game and then just bring back the results to the table. So if you want major warfare or something to that effect, go ahead, whip out a game of Onslaught so you're not drudging through like hours long worth of combat. You can just have a quick game of Onslaught and return back to the table with all the results. I've actually played this about twice now. It's really intuitive if you know how to play 5th edition. It uses basically the same rule sets, bonus actions, standard actions, move actions, and it's got a pretty well thought out action economy here. And it's going to be simple to learn, and I think this is going to be a very powerful tool for GMs to tell grander warfare stories in their campaigns with the utility set specifically for that. So really looking forward to how they integrate this with 5th edition or D&D, and we'll see how that takes. But I'm very excited about what I've gotten to see, what I've gotten to play, and thank you, WizKids, for giving us a first look.
Yeah, shout out again to WizKids for that. Thank you. And also thank you for showing us the swag you got from the one day you got to go to PAX Unplugged.
And I was very excited.
You know what? I feel a little cold and chilly. I feel like we need a bundle up with Javion with bundles. Ooh.
All right, everybody, it's time to bundle up. We got a bundle for you today. It's the Blades in the Dark bundle. Ooh. It comes to us from Bundle of Holding from December 2020, Forge in the Dark tabletop role-playing game ebooks. You get the Blades rule book, Band of Blades, Scum, Hack the Planet, and much, much more. In Blades in the Dark, you round up your crew because because you are one of many rogues in a rogue RPG. That's right. Blades in the Dark is basically a bunch of skirmishers, a bunch of thieves and scoundrels. You chasing people around, you're fighting people, you're investigating the occult, and conducting dangerous bargains, heists, and stealing lots and lots of riches, as long as you are bold enough to seize them. You're trying to pull off all of these heists and settle scores to try to rise through the underworld hierarchy. It uses the Apocalypse engine system, like all of my favorite RPGs do. It has rules for clocks, stress, and devil's bargains when you die that ensure fast play and suspenseful choices. Now's your chance to pick up a bunch of Blades in the Dark and supplementary materials as well, and other RPGs for a discounted price, and it all goes to a very worthy cause. So for $12.95, you get all 4 of the titles in the core collection. You get the DRM free ebooks, including the Blaze in the Dark core rulebook. You get the Duskwall heist deck. You get the Duskval street maps and Alone in the Dark solo rules. You can play Blaze in the Dark as a solitary heist game. Excuse me. Okay. And if you bump up your to the threshold price of $26.75 or more, you'll level up and you'll get the entire settings collection where you get 5 more standalone games for a total of $77 worth of content. You get Band of Blades, Scum and Villainy, Hack the Planet, Fistful of Darkness, and Glow in the Dark. I would love to tell you more, but it should be a link in chat so you can just check it out for yourself. And don't forget that 10% of your payment is going to go to this week's bundle donation charity. You're donating to the Diana Jones Award Emerging Designer Program. And this is a program, for those of you who don't know, every year for excellence in gaming. It's a nonprofit that amplifies voices of up-and-coming game designers by featuring them during an all expenses paid visit to, you guessed it, Gen Con. Definitely check out Blades in the Dark bundle from Bundle of Holding before it's too late. Got 19 days left to go.
Ooh, I feel so nice and Cody now that I've been wrapped in that bundle. Thank you, Javion.
You're welcome.
You know what? I need more heads to be taken off. Peter, tell us all about what we got. Dun dun.
Well, it's time for crowdfunder court. And this wig doesn't fit over the speakers very well. Headphones. Here we go. All right. Well, court today is going to be efficient. We only have a few minutes left, so chop. Who's got a case to present before the crowdfunding court today? I think you do, Javion.
I think Noir is a little bit more excited than I am.
I was gonna say I'll jump on the guillotine. I'm
Okay.
down.
All right.
Go Noir.
All right, I'm excited about this one. It's called Lobster Pot. Be a sore loser and pull your friends down. In Lobster Pot, you are all lobsters in a soon-to-boil pot of water. You could all easily escape if it weren't for one unfortunate fact. Lobsters are not team players and will drag you down. Through a series of die rolling, card playing, conflict resolving minigames, and some general chaos, you'll need to escape the pot and win the game. The box includes 6 lobster tokens, 6 standard D6 die, 4 custom 0 to 2 dice, 36 lobster cards, 49 chaos cards, and your character sheet appears to be a menu. So if you're like me and you like to get into some fiendish backstabbing fun, what better way to do it than to make sure that your opponents end up on a plate nice and buttered up while you escape.
All right. Well, very good, Noir. All right, Javion, you've got 1 minute to give us yours.
Oh, great. Awesome. Thanks so much. Okay. Maybe you've heard of Illustrals, the TCG. If not, you really should have. Their goal was $1. And let's just say they've multiplied that goal by 1.4 million times. It is a wildly successful Kickstarter for a brand new trading card game where you are teaming up with a bunch of monsters, magic, and mythology. Lots of spirits casting runes. You're using these as your companions, your fuel, and your health bar as you try to battle an opponent's team of the same. You are collecting artifacts and weapons of the gods themselves on a quest for greatness, trying to become the ultimate hero and begin your legend. You can get a bunch of booster packs, some supplementary materials like a playmat or extra foil cards and things like that if you jump on the Kickstarter. And the reason I'm telling you about it today, and I haven't told you about it before, because there's only 2 hours left. You got 2 hours left to jump on, and if you want to pledge and hop on before it's too late.
Thank you, Javion. All right, back to you, Bonsai.
I feel like these were both quality ones that I believe everyone should keep their heads. So everyone keep your heads, right?
We don't have time for an execution anyway. So.
Cowards.
No, because we're going to be doing a speed run outro. So I hope you guys enjoyed all of the news that we had here on Table Takes. I remember we have a whole slew of shows after this, so don't go away. Keep watching, because coming up next at 3:30, we got Table Takes Game Night. Of course, you're going to be rejoined by Javion, Noir, myself, and behind the scenes Marcus, the unseen god. And we're going to be playing actually. So if you want to see more about that, stick around. And of course, afterwards, we got Sarah's Table at 5. And on Sundays, we have Dress to Quest. The rest of the streaming schedule goes as such. Remember, all of these are West Coast times in case you are wondering, or Pacific times. Mondays, we got 4 p.m. with the board games with the Brothers Murph. Tuesdays, 4 p.m. Out of Character with Mark Tassin. Wednesdays, 6 p.m. we got actor Roki in the house. There's a script reading of Side Quest 3. Thursdays at 10 a.m. Blood on the Clock Tower, followed at 4 p.m. by Roll with Rem Alternus. Then, of course, every Friday, join us here on Table Takes starting at 2 with Table Takes, all your hot board game news, Table Takes Game Night, and Sarah's Table. I wanted to thank all of you in chat and also here on YouTube for watching and contributing to our channel. And don't forget, like if you miss any of our programming, you can check out the VODs here on Twitch, or you can look on YouTube 24 hours later. Remember, folks, to follow Gen Con TV here for more of the best 4 games of gaming in all year round, guys. Thank you so much.
Bye.